And welcome to Hawaii. There's me and my Bitmoji swimming in the ocean, as you can see. And what's that? Does anybody hear some ocean music? I mean, ocean sounds. I guess it's kind of like music, right? Which we talked about a few weeks ago. So we're going to be learning about Hawaii. All right, so we're going to talk about today first, what is Hawaii, okay? So Hawaii is a few different things. Hawaii used to be its own country. It used to have its own monarchy, which means it had kings or queens. This was a long time ago. It used to be its very own country. And now it is a part of the United States of America. So in the 1960s, Hawaii became a part of the United States. So now it is a state. Hawaii also has its own culture. Because it used to be its own country, it really has its own unique culture, and it has its own people group. That means it has its own people who are from there and native to Hawaii. Where is Hawaii? So here's a little cartoon map of where Hawaii is. So Hawaii is part of the Pacific Ocean, and it is considered part of the Pacific Islander region. And so it's a bunch of islands put together. There are some islands on here too that are super, super tiny that you really can't see. Hey, Trey, I'm going to ask you to please stop using that flashlight on the camera. It's very distracting. Okay, thank you. All right, so Hawaii is a set of islands. There are some on here that are so tiny you can't even really see them, but they each have their own name. So you can see that Hawaii is all of these put together, but they have their own names. So we have up here, we have Kauai, we have Oahu, which it says Honolulu there because that's a big city on Oahu, Maui, and then Hawaii, or it also gets called the Big Island. This is Hawaii's flag. So every state has a flag, and it was also their flag before it became a state as well. And then here's just a fun fact. Did you know aloha can be used to say hello or goodbye? It can be used for both, which is kind of cool. So if you ever are in Hawaii, you could, and you're coming and you're saying hello to somebody, you could say aloha. Or if you're leaving, you could also say aloha to say goodbye. It's used for both. And now we're going to talk about the Hawaiian people. So here's just some pictures of people from Hawaii. So what we would call native Hawaiians. So just like how on the mainland here, the mainland is sort of what we call like the big part of the United States. It's all connected. But Alaska and Hawaii are separate from the mainland. Okay. So Hawaii is out in the water, and then Alaska is way up north, kind of connected to Canada. So the mainland, just how we would have Native Americans, there are also people who are Native Hawaiians. And so you can see some pictures here. They are part of the sort of Polynesian people group, which also is a bunch of different other Pacific islands have the Polynesian people, that's what they're a part of. So they are part of the United States, but like I said before, they also have their unique culture and their own unique style of music. Okay, here we go. So first, we're going to listen to this example of Hawaiian music. This is very traditional Hawaiian music. And while we listen, I just want you to think about a couple questions. Is this what you think of when you hear Hawaiian music? What are you hearing? And any other observations you might have. And just keep them in your head right now. But if you want, towards the end, you can type in the chat, okay? But just keep it all in your head, and then we'll share after. Here we go. Give me a thumbs up if you can do that. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to look at the chat and see what people have, what observations I've heard. Let's see. Oh, yes, I heard somebody sounds like there's drums. Yes, it sounds like there's drums. Just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. How many of you, when you think of Hawaiian music, this is what you think of? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Yes or no? Is this what you think of? I hear a couple people saying yes. I hear a couple of people, see a couple of people with their thumbs down saying no, and then some people just not answering. You could also answer in the chat if your thoughts. So this is a type of chant music that is really, really traditional to Hawaiian music. This is one of the earliest forms of music in Hawaii, and it's called chant. All right, and yes, I see some people say that they heard drums and voices. So yes, there were two people chanting, and then one voice. One drum. Okay. Oops, sorry. I just hit play again. Okay, here we go. So the Hawaiian chant actually has a name. It is called Mele Oli. So wherever you are, can you please say Mele Oli? So Mele Oli is a type of chant, Hawaiian chant, and it is used for storytelling in Hawaiian. It's used for prayers. The traditional sort of ancient Hawaiian culture had their own religion and their own gods, and they would pray to their gods through chanting, the Mele Oli. And it would also as a way to recite their history of their culture and of their people. Okay. All right. Now we're going to talk about some modern Hawaiian music. This is totally different and is an example of modern Hawaiian music. This is a music video. Raise your hand if you've ever seen a music video. I bet most of you have seen a music video before. So we're going to watch this video together and we're actually going to learn this song. And I think we did this song a couple years ago. If you remember, some of you were probably in like first grade, so maybe you did it, but it's called Pupu Hinu Hinu, and it's in the Hawaiian language. And what it means is shiny shells. So this is a song about shiny shells, and it's a type of song, which if you did your lesson in Schoology, you might remember what type of song it is that we'll talk about. If you remember what type of song it is, you can type it in the chat. All right, here we go. Thumbs up if you can hear this music. Okay, we're gonna stop it right here. All right, raise your hand if you've heard this song or you remember this song from another time. Does anybody remember this song? Okay, I see a couple people remember this song. Okay, great. So we're going to now learn this song and we're going to learn some of the movements. Oh, here, I'm going to open the chat so I can see. And we're going to learn this song and some of the movements and the Hawaiian dancing that go with it. Does anybody know the name of Hawaiian dancing like this? Does anybody know the name? If you know the name of this type of Hawaiian dancing, put it in the chat. I want to see if you know. I bet some of you do. Okay, let's see. Oh, I keep hitting play when I mean to go to the next slide. All right, so you might notice that, oh, yes, I see people saying hula, question mark, hula dancing, question mark. Yes, hula dancing. Good. So that's a type of Hawaiian dance. So did you notice that those girls that were doing the dancing, they had shells that looked like these? Do you see? I have two of these shells here. So these are called tiger cowrie shells, and they are really popular and really common on the beaches and in the waters of Hawaii. And so they get used for a lot of different things, for decoration, all sorts of stuff. Oh, so I heard somebody say, I know that shell. Yes. So this shell is used a ton in Hawaii for different types of things. And in this case, it's used for dancing. So we're just going to learn the very first part of this song. And then I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to learn some of the movements. So I put the translation from the Hawaiian over here. So you can see it says, shiny shell, my shiny little shell, found at the seashore, my shell, shiny shell. And we're just going to learn that first verse right here. This song is a lullaby. Does anybody know what a lullaby is? Raise your hand if you know what a lullaby is. What are lullabies? Raise your hand if you know. Okay, great. I see lots of hands. Can you guys type in the chat? What do you know is a lullaby? What is a lullaby? Let's see. I want to see what people say. What is a lullaby? Ooh, I saw somebody say a song pretty much. Yes, it is a song that helps you calm down, a sleep song, a soft song. A lullaby is a song to get people to sleep. Yes, these are all fantastic answers. A song that makes people fall asleep. Oh, and here's a great one. A song that makes babies fall asleep. Yes, it's usually slow moving. Oh, I love that descriptor. Yes, so a lullaby is a song that helps babies fall asleep. So let's say you have a baby and you're kind of fussy and you want to try to help them fall asleep. You might sing a soft, kind of quiet, soothing song. And so this is a lullaby. And we're going to learn some movements now. So I have these two shells, and apparently Cicely does too. That's amazing. Go ahead and hold your shells. And if you don't have shells, which probably most of you don't, and that's totally okay, just make fists with your hands like you're holding something. And then later we'll talk about things you can use instead of shells on a different day. So the first part of this song, so we're going to sing poo poo, he knew. The very beginning, here's what you do. And I'm going to stand up so that you can see it a little better. But just like the girls did, you're going to go out and tap them, in and tap them, and out and tap them. So it's going to be like 1, 2, 3. Here, let me show you. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I'll show you because I'm going like out, in, out. All right, let's do it together. Here we go. Out, in, out. Good. So then we do that on the poo, poo. It's going to sound like this. Poo, poo. Yeah, let's do it together. Here we go. Poo, poo. And then on hinu, we're going to kind of make waves with our hands, okay, like this in the water. Okay, so we're going to go back and forth like this. See my hands getting back and forth. We're going to go out and then back in. So it's going to go poo, poo. He knew. Good, let's do it again. Poo, poo. He knew. Then we do it again. Poo, poo. He knew. Hey. Good. And then this next part, you might notice that we're going to kind of swipe them together like this, like you're hitting them going up and down. And then we're going starting 1, 2, 3, back and forth. Oops, I didn't even hit them. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like that. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. And then go back the other way. 1, 2, 3. And that's on the o ka ka kai ka kai. Good. And then we do one more time. Out and in, out. Poo, poo. He knew, hey, with the water. Good. Let's try the whole thing. Are you ready? Oh my goodness, we're over time, but that's okay. We'll do it one more time. Here we go. Poo, poo. He knew. Poo, poo. He knew, hey. Then we're going to start at one side. O ka ka kai ka kai. Poo, poo. He knew, hey. Yes, good. I saw so many people doing it. That was awesome. Nice job. Woo. Okay. Oh my goodness, we're out of time. But guess what? We're going to do more Hawaiian music next week. And oh my goodness, I forgot to tell you, we are going to have a special guest come and share some Hawaiian music with us virtually in a couple weeks. So, and some of you might actually kind of know who this person is because it is Mrs. Curry's son. Does anybody know who Mrs. Curry is? Raise your hand if you know who Mrs. Curry is. She was a 5th grade teacher at our school. And she is Hawaiian. Did you know that Mrs. Curry is Hawaiian? And so she's going to have her son, he's going to come and share some Hawaiian music with us, which is so exciting. So we'll talk about that a little more next week. But I'm so excited to get to start this out with you. Woohoo! Thanks, everyone. Aloha. Everybody say aloha. Bye. Right, aloha.